Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A Mondays with Melanie show. I'm your host, Ken Nichols, and I'm here with Melanie Nichols. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and Melanie is one of the top curl and color experts anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly hair products, which is our sponsor for the evening. And you can find Raw Curls products at rawhairorganics.com. So don't forget to check them out. Not now, but check them out later. So anyway, episode 116, and tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, you can also listen to this episode on podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and pretty much everywhere else you listen to or consume podcasts. So anyway, Melanie, how are you today?
I am recovering from Easter.
Recovering from Easter. Good. Good. Yeah, we ate like pigs.
It's Monday Madness. Yeah, we did. We ate, and I continued to eat like a pig today. I had leftovers.
Did you? You had the leftovers?
Yeah.
I ate some of the soggy salad.
Oh, no. I had the eggplant rollatini and meatballs. Delicious.
Yummy. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we have some friends that invite us over every Easter. Oh my God, it's been many years, and it's wonderful. So, and we're thankful for that. So
And today I was out. Guess what I was doing today? Day
uh,
after Easter.
buying Easter stuff for next year for the salon. Oh, and wait, no. Candy for the candy dish at the salon.
You got it. You got it. I spent over $100 on chocolates. So we're stocked up for about a month.
Oh, we have a friend, Melanie and I have a friend who, I don't know if she still does it, but that's where Melanie got the idea. Her name's Maria, and she's small. She's not a big
like
woman.
my size.
Yeah, not a big. She used to. Those are those 2-pound bags of like candy bars and M&Ms and stuff that you get. Those like 2-pound bags. Was she going through one of those a week or something?
Oh no, one a night.
One a night. She'd eat one a night,
Yeah.
and wasn't a diabetic or anything either.
Not
I don't know
yet.
how. Yeah, I don't know how she gets away with that. I don't know, but yeah, she told us she does that. She's got like a closet, like
She
full,
buys more than I do. but
hundreds of bags.
She
she'll
gets
buy.
like 3 cartfuls. I just fill one, and they look at me crazy when I go up to the checkout, and I just tell them it's menopause.
I don't know how she does it. Right?
Somebody asked me if I was a teacher. I'm like, I'm pretty sure teachers aren't giving out this much candy. I hope not.
Oh boy,
But
yeah.
I just mess with them. I'm like, do you think I have a problem?
Maybe. Nah, maybe. Oh boy. Got a fun fact for us today or no?
Well, I do. This is actually a follow-up fun fact because I was going to share it previously and I didn't have a chance because we were on to so many other things. But you'll get a kick out of this because literally the week after we showed your picture with your mullet,
I did not have a mullet.
Yep. When we showed the picture of your mullet from when we first met, I got our industry magazine.
Are they coming back in style?
Beauty Launchpad
Or is there a
magazine.
picture of me in there?
Yeah.
There is not. There
There's a
better
picture of
not
you.
be.
And I literally opened this up and I couldn't even believe it. It said, rock the mullet. Oh my God, the mullet is coming back. They really
Oh my
had pictures
God.
of, but actually they're pretty cool. This one looks like an Ashton Kutcher haircut and this one looks more like a shag to me. See? Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad, but
Still a mullet.
yeah, I couldn't believe it. It literally was in our industry magazine showing them
Theo Vaughn wears a mullet.
Well, these are modified mullets. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. So, Ken, maybe that'll be your next haircut. Going back to the good old days.
Oh God, no.
Now we have to grow it out because we just cut it all off.
I'm not. Yeah, no. I'm really liking the lengths it is. So hey, so thanks but no thanks. Anyway, thanks but no thanks.
So there you go.
Oh boy.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, there's your fun fact. All right, you want to get into some questions? You know, today, before I forget, Melanie, to tell you, today is also an Ask Me Anything show. We have
Oh,
some Ask Me Anything questions. So
okay.
it
Okay.
should be interesting.
Did you have more color questions left over from last week? Is that, or are we just going to do Ask Me Anything?
We're just gonna do Ask Me Anythings.
Well, what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
No other fun facts? You want to just get into questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were going to get into questions.
Okay, good. All right, Melanie, I've been doing the curly girl method for 12 days, and my day 2 and day 3 hair is just awful. I do the pineapple, satin pillowcase, and refresh with some leave-in, and I just end up pulling it into a loose bun or pinning it back. Any tricks or tips? I have 2B, 2C curls. Any suggestions?
2B, 2C. So that's a little wavy. Well, let's see. It sounds like she's pretty much doing the right things. You know, someone else, I've had this question come up before, people that even come in the salon that are struggling. So maybe, you know, instead of doing a loose pineapple, try doing a twist and just putting one big clip on the top of your head instead of, you know, you just have to pull it up loosely, whatever you do, even a loose braid, you know, that can give you the, you know, nice waves the next morning. And then I like to refresh with the Raw Curls Anti-Frizz, which is just like any other light leave-in spray conditioner. It's, you know, some people even make their own concoction. So it's going to spritz and moisten the curls and refresh them so that you can reshape them. But otherwise, you know, some people just have to re-wet and restyle.
Okay.
Or you know, some of my clients like to add a spray gel after they spritz and moisten it with you know, the light leave-in spray conditioner. So you could try that.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Let's see.
Why are you looking
Next
at cars?
questions. Because it was an Ask Me Anything question. I don't have a picture.
Oh, okay.
Somebody asked, so I was looking.
How come we have no products out here?
Because we're making big changes here on the in the studio, so they're just not finished yet.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Do raw curls? This is a raw curls question. Do raw curls products go bad after a certain amount of time after being opened? Will they not work as well? Particularly the raw curls for curly hair cleanser, conditioner, firm hold gel, and anti-frizz spray. I can answer those questions. You've got about, from the time you open them, you've got about 16 to 18 months of shelf life. That's about it.
Yeah, I tell people
And if
2
you,
years.
if you're getting that, if it's taking you that long to go through a bottle,
Yeah, you need to wash your hair more.
you need to wash your hair more.
But let me just say, the only one that I've had any issues with is a gel, possibly. You know, we've had some things going on with the gels in the past, but everything else we've never had an issue with any of the cleanser, conditioner, or the anti-frizz. And so anyway, yeah, that's definitely, like you said, if you have not used it up in 2 years, I'm not sure why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
And when I test these things, when we create them, I go, you know, way beyond that just to test and see if anything goes bad. So, and I honestly, you know, haven't had any problems.
Yeah, luckily. Luckily. Okay. All right. You want to ask me anything question? Let's do an Ask Me Anything question. Oh, they're fun. Okay. These are fun. Let's do this. Okay. I'll let you answer and then I'll answer. Melanie and Ken, I know you two aren't originally from Florida, so how often do you see your friends or families? Is that difficult?
Are you letting me answer? Or
Yes,
are you
I said
answering?
you first.
Oh, okay.
First.
I didn't hear you say that. So yeah, it is difficult because we work basically 7 days a week and 18 hours a day. running the couple businesses that we have and doing the show like this. And so it is hard to get away. And really, the only family that I tend to go and visit would be my mother. And that's not an easy trip to make. She chose to move to Arkansas, of all things, up in the Ozarks. You know, there's a TV show about that, the Ozarks. There's some crazy TV show.
No.
So anyway, but it's a difficult trip to make because she's 3 hours from any airport. So, and it's not exactly a huge destination place. I know that's a shocker, but you have to, whatever airport you fly into, then you have to drive 3 hours. So, yeah, it's not easy travels.
No.
So,
But we are going there in the near
but
future.
we're going there for Mother's Day, so I'm super excited. Last summer, I did spend a lot of time there because she was in the hospital very sick. And so I, spent, I think every month of the summer, after I was out there for Mother's Day, and then every month thereafter, all on, through the summer, so that I could be with her in the hospital and all that. But she's stable now. And then we were supposed to go at Christmas time, and as most of you know, we had Miley that was going downhill, and we lost her, so we couldn't travel. And so now Mother's Day, but it kind of started to be like once a year type of thing because my mom can't leave, she can't travel, so we have to go there, and it's not easy, so it's kind of become a once a year thing.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
Nope. But I do miss my friends, and I get to see them a couple times a year or
You
so.
just saw them.
Yeah, that's what I said. I get to see them. Well, barely, because I had so much work to do in a 3-day window.
You see your friends a lot. You see them way more than I do.
Yeah, a few times a year, which is good.
Well,
So,
you didn't answer the question fully.
yeah, I did. I said, nope.
Are you going to visit your family?
Nope. Nope. And I'm good with that.
I think they're still alive because we haven't heard otherwise.
Yeah, anyway. Hey, Rhett, if you would check your messenger. Okay, good. Okay, all right.
Why do you have a Band-Aid on your finger? Were you trying to cut hair?
So, as I know some of you know, I really like to cook, and I don't get a lot of time to do it. And for the longest time, I've had these crappy knives, this crappy set of knives, and they were just all wore out and whatever. And a couple of months ago, I happened to be at Costco or Sam's Club or whatever, and they had a sale on them, a really, really good sale, like half off. So I bought them, and boy, are they good and sharp like you wouldn't believe. So I was rushing yesterday, and one of them attacked me. One of them got up out of the sink and attacked me and cut me pretty good.
You had to have those sharp knives. See
I'm
what
number
happens?
one. I'm number one. Mm-hmm. My old knives would have never done this.
You're going to be like my stepdad pretty soon, where we don't allow you to play with sharp tools.
Oh, God, no. Anyway, yeah, but it's healing up. Okay, thanks. It's healing up. It's getting better. But man, it's smarted. I'll tell you that much. It's smarted, but it's getting better. No stitches. I don't think they would have stitched it anyway. It's too small. All right. Okay. Oh, here's one for Melanie. Here's a good one. Melanie, every time I go to a new stylist, they always ask me who did my hair the last time and then go ahead and badmouth their work. It's very discouraging to hear this everywhere you go. What's the best advice you can give on finding a highly qualified stylist? That is an excellent question on a couple of fronts because, I've heard that a lot I've heard curl experts discuss that where they will say that they openly have no problem criticizing the work of someone else who sits in their chair. What are your thoughts on that? Because I get it. This is such an excellent question because I can see how uncomfortable and awkward that is from a couple of different angles. The angle of you're ripping on my stylist, who I didn't tell you, but happens to be my sister-in-law who I love. You know what I mean? Or and then the other angle of you're sitting in my chair and telling me I'm all hacked up and I'm not pretty. That's uncomfortable too. It's like, so what are your thoughts on that? Do you do that? Do your girls at your salon, do you have a policy on it? I mean,
We
how do you,
actually
how do
do
you,
have a policy on that, and I think it's unprofessional, really, and I think that's just coming from a place of maybe insecurity. I don't know. A lot of hairdressers, unfortunately, feel that they have to find something wrong that they can fix or do better. I found that a lot in my career. Even people that I worked with in the past, they'll try to say something to one of my clients and say, oh, you need to have some highlights, or you need to have this, or and it's like, why? Why can't, we really strive to not do that, and we actually compliment a lot of people's work, and I think that comes from a place of security in who you are and your talent. And and actually we've had I had a couple clients just say that they were really impressed because whoever they went to up north or somewhere else complimented my work, and they thought that was really cool. But we really try to do that. New people coming in fill out a client profile, and we ask just a general statement. What did you dislike about your last stylist or in your hair? What are you struggling with? And the only reason we're asking that is to know what, if they had an issue, so that we don't repeat it. But, a lot of times, even if the person in my chair is complaining, criticizing the haircut they got the last time, or, the way the stylist hacked up their hair. A lot of times I'll actually even defend that person, saying, maybe they just had a bad day. You should give them another chance.
and that happens, right?
Yeah, it happens. It happens to me. And I'll say that. I'll be like, I could have a bad day too. Hopefully not very often, but it happens. And so, I really try not, I just focus on what I can improve. So, they might say, oh, they cut my bangs too short, or they did this, or they chopped, the layers too much, or, we can clearly see that. So they already know. And it's like, okay, well, this is what we're going to do to help it look better. And so that's what I try to focus on, and that's how I've trained the girls. That's how we operate in my salon. And
okay.
I'm right there, so I would hear,
Right.
yeah, I really don't like to try to criticize,
Yeah,
other
it's just
people.
not cool. And I know obviously quite a few curl specialists, just from my work. And yeah, I know a couple that they've got, for whatever reason, I'm not going to try to figure out what that, but I absolutely have no problem tearing somebody else's work apart. Absolutely no problem. And, it is what it is. Okay. All right. I'm going to do an Ask Me Anything question. I've got a couple. I actually think I have more than you do. I think we have two together. I don't know if you have one alone. Oh, yeah, there's a couple of good ones. All right, let's do this one. Ken, I've seen you say that you were a quote unquote born and bred entrepreneur. How old were you when you started your first business, and how many tries did it take you to build a successful one? Good couple of questions.
He's still working on it.
I started very, very young. Yeah. It's a process.
55.
It's a process.
Is still working on
I'm
it.
still learning.
Yeah. I'd like to know too.
I was as a little kid, and I've talked about this before. I don't think here, but in other forms. That I started delivering newspapers and then collecting the old ones, and I just always had that mentality because I came from a family that was broke. And
weren't you stealing bikes and selling
was
them?
not stealing bikes. I was not. I was buying them, fixing them up and selling them and digging them. Well, I will say this. I used to dig bikes. You know that creek by my mom's house by the park, it goes across the. I used to dig bikes out of the creek.
See?
That could have very well been stolen and dumped in the creek and fixed them up. But I always did, just because it was the only way, like everybody else, getting an allowance and all this and whatever, and getting nothing. So that's pretty much where it started. But my first real business, I think I was 22. And yeah, that was my first real one, and it was it exploded. It was very, very successful. But I will say this:
What was
that
it?
was
And what?
that was the pool equipment and construction
Okay,
business.
well, you tell.
It was a swimming pool and construction and repair business for like commercial swimming pools, like public pools and stuff like that.
That you
Big
started
stuff.
out of your parents'
Started out
basement?
of my parents' basement. Yeah, with $400 cash, all I had in my parents' spiderweb dirty basement. It's probably still spiderwebbed and dirty. But that's literally I did it with $400, and it really. But I had a lot of preparation leading up to that, to doing it. I didn't just wake up one day and do it. I had a lot of training leading up to it, and
Didn't you drop out of school?
when I did, yep, and when I did, yeah, because I had to, because I ran out of money. But it was right from the start. It was very big in a matter of just a couple of years. But I will say this, that absolutely a double-edged sword for it's great to be able to say, yeah, first one, big, gigantic, whatever, blah, blah, blah. At the second, the other end of that sword is, if I was talking to a young person now, like somebody my age back then, 21, 22, 23, I wouldn't wish giant success on them. I would not wish that they'd have a big winner right out the gate, because when you get that, it's really easy for the next several years to think that every single thing you start or touch is going to be a giant home run, because then when they aren't, you got to deal with that, because it's rare. It's rare. I mean, I forget what it is. They say that it's like 0.5%. Like, so 0.5% out of every 100 businesses started will generate $1 million in revenue. And so it's so rare. And then to get, to build something monstrous, just a monster right out of the gate, it was really easy to get that in your head, that, you start thinking you start thinking you're special.
So you got a big ego
Right.
and a big head.
Right. You start thinking you're special. And so I wouldn't wish that. So when I see young people, trying and failing, I'm like, yep, trust me, it's good for you. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard to stomach. But if your kids are young and they're trying to do this, just encourage them. Don't get on them. Just let them do it and make them keep doing it. Because the more they do it, the more they fail, the more they learn. And real double-edged sword.
But failure builds success.
Oh, yeah, it does.
One of my clients just shared
It
a
really
quote
does.
with me about that, and I wish maybe I can get it for next week. But it was a really good quote about that.
Yeah. Yeah, so keep that in mind.
It was
I really
something
mean
about
that.
success is failing and being able to make it, through the failure and to survive the failures or something like that. It was really cool. I'll ask her to send it to me again.
Yeah.
It was a good quote.
But anybody, whether it's someone young or anybody who's listening or watching, if you're trying and failing, don't quit. You might have to do something else, but don't think just because you fail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, or it's not like super successful or whatever, that does not mean you're a failure. That puts you right in line with everybody else. And like I said, it's I was lucky. I had a lot of training, but I would have learned a whole lot more. I would have learned a whole lot more had I had a couple of failures before coming right out of the gate and getting a monster. Okay. All right. Well, now let's have a related Ask Me Anything question. You ready for this? Okay.
I'm ready.
Melanie and Ken. This is for both Melanie and Ken separately. If you weren't in the hair care business, what business or career would you be in? I know what Melanie would be in.
No, how do you know?
I've got a pretty good guess. Do you want me to tell you my guess?
Yeah, let's guess, because you don't know me at all, actually.
You want to be in a circus. You'd like to be a trapeze artist.
Oh, wow. That was when I was younger, or a dancer.
Or a dancer.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, I think I would be doing something with animals, like dog training. I really love working with the dogs, or animals in general, and I guess I feel like I do a good job at training them, disciplining, and working with them as to be like service animals. Yeah, if my body would, be able to handle it, I would say dancing, or, everyone thought I would be a gymnastics coach, and of course that would have been par for course because I was a super competitive gymnast for 18 years of my life. But, yeah, I just went down a different path. So, I don't know. What would you be?
I don't know. I didn't read the questions ahead of time, so I'm not,
Well, think.
I don't know. I always go back to NASCAR team owner.
What about swim coach?
Oh, if money didn't matter at all.
They didn't say money
absolutely,
mattered.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd go back, be a high school swim coach. Yep. That I would probably do that. I would do it full time. If money didn't matter, absolutely. I would do it full time, like real full time. Like real full time. All the parents would be pulling their kids out because, I'd be treating them like pros and expecting. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay. All right. Melanie, what suggestions do you have for using the curly girl method on children? My daughter is fine. I'm assuming fine curls. My daughter has fine curls. No, it's not. I'm going to reread this. My daughter is fine with conditioning and product use, but refuses to sleep with her hair plopped or with a satin cap. She also wants it pulled up in ponies all the time, but I know it's best if left down. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, it's actually not best if left down when sleeping.
I don't know if she means that. She's saying she also wants it pulled up in ponytails. I think
like
she
all
just
the
means
time.
all the time.
Oh, okay.
Probably because it's easier to deal with.
Yeah. Let them be a kid. Don't traumatize them in their youth about their hair. We've actually seen that in the salon where mothers are really obsessed with the kids' hair, and then they end up, growing up like hating it, whether it's the mom not, knowing how to deal with the curls and brushing, and, I'm not recommending that you like brush through and damage their hair, but, a lot of kids are really, as adults, traumatized from what their parents did to them with their hair when they were younger. I have men and women that, have, PTSD, I swear to God, from what their parents did to their hair when they were younger. So just let them be, they'll figure it out. They're going to want their curls to look good when they're getting older. I really wouldn't stress about it. If they want to pull it up, let them pull it up, unless there's a problem going on, like their hair's falling out, or, there's a real serious issue, then, let's revisit that. But, I've had people bring in little girls that are 5 for a curly cut. And it's like, let's be real. You're not going to spend all this time, diffusing and, like this, big routine in the morning. They're lucky to get them out of bed and breakfast and showered and, brush their teeth and off to school. So, just be realistic about it.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to Ask Me Anything. Boy, there's a couple of other good ones in here. All right. This is for me. Ken, I know you are into cars, and my husband wants to know what the favorite car is that you have or had. Boy, okay, that's tough, but it's not.
Oh,
it's tough.
That's why you were looking at all those cars.
Yes, because I had to, because I saw the question. And I'm like, oh.
I thought you didn't look at the questions.
Well, I that's why right when I was sitting here when we went live.
Okay.
That's why you said, "What are you doing on the computer?" Because I picked up the thing and I saw it, and I'm like, otherwise I would have got Rhett prepared. Oh. And I'm like, oh
well,
no.
Well, we like to just throw him under the bus and put the pressure on. We want to see how you work under pressure.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Okay, there. Right.
So do I.
Rhett works good under pressure.
It keeps the heart pumping.
Yeah. So for me, I'm into cars. I've had a lot of them, and I guess it's kind of like you people who have kids. You love your kids for different reasons and whatever. And
Cars are like kids.
Yes, they are. And
Oh,
I've had
brother.
really cheap ones that
You've had cheap ones? People
cheap
have cheap kids?
no cheap maybe. I've had cheap cars that I had a 1970 Mustang Fastback that I paid
Ah, the
$450.
Mustang.
Loved it.
Ugh.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely regret to this day selling it. And then I've had some really expensive stuff that I like too, and stuff in the middle. So, but if I have to pick a favorite, I'll show you it now. For those of you who are watching on video, there she is. That is a
Way to show our messy garage.
okay. You know what's funny about that picture?
Those are big crates
To go to hair shows.
to go to hair shows.
That's
Yeah.
what those are. If you look in our garage, the garage door is open. I know if you're on podcast,
That's
you're
our
not
house.
seeing this. Yeah, that's our house.
And that's our garage.
And that's our garage. And it's filled with those crates are what we ship when we would do big hair shows. That's what we'd ship all the stuff in. So you take a forklift and pick them up and put them on a truck. But that beautiful car.
That was fun when we brought that car and we had Malcolm.
Yeah.
You like that one better than the tail dragger? The
Yep.
green one?
Yeah, I like that better than the
Really?
tail dragger. Yeah, because I drove this car here. For those of you who aren't seeing it or looking at it, this is a 1934 Ford 3-window coupe, full fendered car.
It's like a raspberry color.
It's like a raspberry color. I drove that, believe it or not, for a period of time. I drove that thing every day. Right, Melanie? I parked it in the driveway.
Yeah.
Parked it in the driveway. I drove that every day. It had air conditioning, power steering, power brake, power windows.
We used to have a video of me and Malcolm.
It's
going
floating
up.
around somewhere.
Yeah,
We used to take it to hair shows and use it for display and whatever. But it was just a joy to drive. And
I would have thought you liked the green one better. The green one was fun when we took it to hair shows
was a lot of
because it was
fun.
loud and people
Yeah.
stood around and they clapped like when you pulled in and pulled out. It was really
it was
funny.
gorgeous.
It
Yes. And I don't have any pictures
They're
of it
like,
handy,
yay!
but just
and they're like clapping
Yeah.
and cheering. It was hilarious.
yeah, it is now living in its life in East LA, which is exactly where it should be, and I'm sure it's very happy living there. I'm sure it's very happy living
So
there.
if we go there, we might see it cruising up
Hey,
and down.
we might. I'm sure
strip.
I'm sure it might. So anyway, but yeah, that was probably my favorite. I drove it like my daily driver for probably a year and a half. Love that car. Okay. See now here let's do another Ask Me Anything just because this is a good one too because this relates to curly hair and curly hair products and stuff. Melanie and Ken, how do you guys come up with ideas?
Because I work in the salon and behind the chair, I come up with certain ideas just out of necessity. A lot of things that we've done have been born out of necessity, things that I need. And then you just, I think both of us have the kind of minds that you can't shut off. So the girls laugh at me all the time. Like in my sleep, I was thinking about, and they're just like, oh my God, and people ask me if I think about stuff, hair in my sleep. And I'm like, as a matter of fact, I do, whether it's names for products or new products or hairstyles for my clients, my mind is always going and thinking, but most of the time it really comes from a place of necessity and something that we need or that I feel the industry needs.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm one of those guys. I can't turn my mind off, and I'm always thinking of the next thing, and it could be in anything. I mean, Melanie knows, she's been around me for a long time, that I come up with ideas for stuff all the time of all different kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've had so many ideas over the years that we don't even
Execute on.
Yeah.
Yep. That other people have, that we look back and say, we thought of that 10 years ago.
Remember that,
We thought of that.
like the little can of soda? I mean,
Yep.
I
Yep.
thought
Just
of
all
that.
kinds of
Yeah,
stuff like
there's
that.
so many ideas that we have, and we just can't, like you say, execute on all of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I share with other people that I think, they should run with it, but other times we just keep going and forget about it, and then
Yeah. I used to, back in the old days, because I get so many ideas, I used to not share them with anybody. But now I've realized that, ideas are the easy part. It's the execution that's the hard part. And I've realized that almost anything, I could tell virtually anybody almost everything about a specific thing that I know a lot about that would be a great idea. And I wouldn't even worry about them stealing it, because 99.9% of the people never execute on because it's too hard. It's too really hard.
Well, like a good friend of ours who had been working on two things that she was going to patent for years, and she put over $100,000 into them, and they still haven't come to fruition.
No.
Yeah. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of money. And, so there's a lot of competition. Sometimes, if you're a small guy trying to create something, somebody with a lot of money and bigger comes along with the same idea and just crushes you because they can do it quicker.
Yep.
So it can be frustrating. But, so we've had a lot of different ideas
over the
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know a lot of times people come to me now and say, you should do this and you should do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it if you fund it.
If you fund it.
And
figure out where I can get the time, which is always
kind of my standard answer now, because I'd love to do a lot of these things and, suggestions that people have, but, it takes a lot of money in order to do that. So if someone's willing to fund that project, I'm all for it.
Yeah, just like people talk about, hair products all the time, with us, they'll say things all the time like, come out with a deep conditioner, or come out with a, what's the other one? Curl cream. We get that all the time. And we're like, it's a lot of money and it's a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money and a lot of time.
People don't really understand
the process.
They don't understand the process. Even with our pomade that we've been having to reformulate.
It took us 2 years to reformulate it.
Yeah. And they're like, when are you going to have your pomade? And I'm like, I don't know. So, it just takes a long time. And even now that we've okayed the sample, they're like, when are we going to have it? When are we going to have it? And I'm like, I'm not even giving a date, because I've just learned over the time. Ken hasn't learned this lesson yet. But, if we're told 2 months, it's usually 4 to 6, So I say, I don't know. When we have it, we have it. And we'll let you know. We'll announce it. Yeah. Because it's such a long process.
Yeah, it just is. Yeah, there's no way around it. But that's a good question.
Yeah, Thanks. That was a really good question.
That's a really good question. Yeah, they just come. I'm full of ideas. Okay.
You're full of something.
Yeah, I'm full of something. Here's another raw curls question. And before I forget, next week, tell your friends. Next week, we're having a Diva Curl product giveaway. We're going to give away some Diva Curl product.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So if you like Diva Curl product or want to try some and want some for free,
wow,
come next week. Tell your friends.
How's that happening?
I'm not telling you. Okay. All right. Since starting with raw curls, I find I don't need to deep condition my hair at all.
Yay.
Is that why raw curls doesn't have a deep conditioner in the line?
Thank you. Yes. So many times, I tell people, and because I like to try other people's products too. And, I'm always looking to compare. And then every once in a while, I'm like, I'm just like everybody else. Oh, I got to try that, And especially when you go to the hair show, you get all these samples and it's like, oh, cool. I'm going to see, because we don't have a deep conditioner, it's like, oh, let's, try that one and see how it is. And so many times, the majority of times, almost always, I've been disappointed saying, wow, our regular raw curls conditioner is more conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Yeah, you can use it like a deep conditioner or you can use it like a leave-in. So it's very versatile. It's very moisturizing.
Yeah. Yep, it sure is. All right. Let's do... another thing before I forget. Yeah, so next week, Diva Curl giveaway. Don't forget to hang out for that. And we'll also have a little bit of an update on the Raw Curls Day of Curls giveaway.
Wow.
That's we'll give you an update on that. All right. We're gonna finish with this. Some of these questions we got, that where they asked me anythings were, they were a little, I don't want to call them prying, but it's a really good point.
That's the whole part of asking anything, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, people observe. That's for sure. This is for both Ken and Melanie. How do you deal with the negativity and haters? It seems to me that anyone who is actually doing something significant gets all the attacks, and I see that you guys get that on the internet. Does it bother you, or do you just not care?
That is so true. That is so true. Yeah. And I actually talk about that to people, to parents about their kids and the bullying and everything. And I'm like, you know what? This is something that goes on even as an adult. It happens to me daily.
Mm-hmm.
I I try not, I actually don't have time to look at it all. Like I find out from other people.
But I do.
Ken does, my clients do. Thank you
Yeah.
for defending me, those
Yeah.
that do.
Yeah.
You know
And I
what?
do.
I have to say, for the most part, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've learned to accept that that's life, and this person is absolutely right. Anytime you have success, there's people trying to take it away from you.
Yep.
They're trying to criticize you and pull you
Yep.
down. It's just coming from a place of their own insignificance or insecurities. And, I just try to remind myself of that. There's some kind of issue going on typically with that person, that they
Mm-hmm.
feel they have to attack you, and that they're not happy for your success. But it's just, unfortunately, the way of the world, and I don't see that changing really. So, yeah, you just have to learn to deal with it and move on and stay focused on who you are, what
Yeah.
you stand for, and, stay positive and just keep doing what you're doing and try to remember all those people that are supporting you and that you're helping, even as stylists in the salon. We talk about this quite often. Like, you'll have hundreds of clients that love you and that, think what you're doing with the hair is amazing. And then you get one person that's not happy and you're just like, oh, you're so devastated. But you just learn to, after all the years, to move on and deal with that. And again, try to understand that, first of all, we just can't make everyone happy. It's impossible. And usually that person, if you talk to them enough, or you would realize that they're probably not in a happy place with themselves. They have a lot of other unhappy things going on in their lives. It's almost like every single time, they've been to every salon, they've been to every doctor, they've been to, and no, they're always a problem wherever they go. And, it's just like, okay, well, I just want to say you might as well leave now because I don't think I'm going to make you happy either, but, it's just the way it is. So yeah, I pretty much, I guess that would be leaning towards the don't care, because I just try to accept and be compassionate of understanding where they're coming from.
Yeah. I personally, I know a lot of you know, I'm in the online world a lot. That's my 7-day a week gig for the most part. So I'm in there a lot. And so I see a lot. And for me, I was going to see but I'm going to explain it. I equally care as much as I equally don't care.
Yeah, I
And
think you get more upset about it.
yeah, I care just as much as I don't care. So it's I come really in the middle. What I have realized over the years, especially over maybe the last 5 or 6, that we've really started to make an impact with a bunch of our brands. I've come to realize that those people, those haters that will actually take the time to really be mean and to be nasty, I really believe this. So in some form or fashion, those people are hurting. They are. And I've actually
Or
tried.
struggling, like they want
Or
to do what you're doing, but they've been
do we get
unsuccessful
that a
with
lot?
it.
Do you remember, Melanie? Do you remember that one time that we were at a show and you taught a class, and that black or island woman or whatever came up and started asking us some questions, and she asked us some specific questions about the products we were making, and I told her, I'm not telling you that, and she got really upset. Do you remember that? And then I had to explain to her why I'm not telling her, and then she understood, and then her husband came. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember that? Yeah, it's yeah, and it's because literally that was the direction she went. And it was a perfect example. It's just that she wasn't online. She was standing in front of us, and she had been struggling so hard to
Oh, the
create
one that
those
wanted you to
products,
tell her
how to do some
Yeah,
things. And
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not telling you. It took me 5 years and
Yeah.
$200,000 to figure it out. I'm not
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah.
And she was really offended and upset.
Yeah.
And I after we talked for a while, and then she left, and she loved us, gave us hugs, and husband was there, whatever. But that goes to what I was going to say, is I really believe that for people to be like that they're really hurting in some way, you know? So I will actually say that to people. If you've ever seen that, I know a lot of you have seen it happen. And I'll do that by private messages, and I'll ask people flat out. And I think a lot of people think I'm being condescending when I do that to them, but I'll say, what's the matter? You know, I'll ask, because I really do believe that. And, you know, but it is,
I don't know.
so I'm better about that, as I really kind of believe. I think there's an old saying, what's that saying, that hurting people hurt people kind of thing. I really think there's a lot to that. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's tough. Like, I see a lot more than she does.
Yeah, the disrespect, the ungratefulness.
Disrespect, for sure.
You know,
Ungratefulness,
those
for
things
sure.
bother me, you know,
Yeah.
when I've been disrespected by other professionals,
Yeah.
you know, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't even be in the hair product business if I got paid $1 for every time we were called ugly or stupid online. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing we get is that we're ugly all the time. You wouldn't believe it. You would not believe it. But that's like the go-to attack. So
Okay.
I know. That's why it's, you know, it's funny. It's like, ugly and stupid.
There you have it.
You asked. You guys asked. We answered. All right. So we got to take our ugly and stupid butts out of here. We're done for the night.
Well, you know what? I wanted to share this with people. This is more towards stylists, I guess, because I know it came up once before in the past. And since we were talking about hair coloring last week, and you know, someone had asked if I ever had something not go the way as I planned it. Remember that question?
Yeah. In the hair color show.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't
Yeah.
know if it was in that show. But anyway, I just thought I'd share this, you know, to be real. It happens. And luckily for me, not often, but, you know, 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, I usually make, you know, the best educated decision about, you know, formulating colors and things. And it goes as planned as the way that, but, you know, nothing's exact. And I just had a situation myself like that. So, you know, with all of my experience and with the laws of coloration, you know, I was coloring a head of hair that I determined should have pulled some more warmth. So I formulated accordingly, and it didn't. So I was like, oh, crap, you know. It's one of those situations. But here's where you become the expert and the professional, when you know how to fix it. Okay. You don't panic and you say, no problem, you know. So I knew exactly what to do. I told the client, you know, we literally were drying her hair, and I'm looking at it saying, crap, you know. I mean, I'm not going to let her walk out, you know, with the result not exactly how we had expected. Because
With your name on it.
with my name on it, I'm not happy. I know she's not going to be happy. So
Having to sit there the extra time. Right?
yeah. So what a bummer. Yep, it sure is. But it's like, you know, just suck it up, you know, fess up, and we can both clearly see, hey, this is not exactly what it should have been. And so I'm like, well, let's just fix it, you know. So I had to reformulate, and all I had, and I'm like, oh, no big deal, you know. I mean, didn't panic, because I know exactly what I need to do, because her hair didn't pull enough warmth. So now I needed to put a glaze over it to retone the hair. And, you know, add some gold. And actually I needed to add a little copper, because it pulled too much ash on her previously highlighted hair. So it was too cool and ashy. And so I needed to now contradict that, adding a little bit more gold and a little bit of copper. And it came out beautiful. You know, she sent me pictures. She was super happy. So it's, you know, that's where you really have to be the professional and know your art. And, you know, if something doesn't go as planned, which once in a while it does.
How to get yourself out
How
of
do
it.
how do you recover and how do you fix it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay.
And those girls, and I see this, I've seen this before, and you have too, that the young girls that are renting suites and they don't have anybody there, to help, they don't know this.
Yeah.
I know the younger girls, they don't know how to, handle things like that. So that's kind of a little scary when there's people, out there totally on their own on a suite that don't have, experience.
Like right out of school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
Well,
they haven't
and
run
I would
into that.
say, 5 years and under. I mean, there's a lot of things that, Julie, one of my stylists, she's a young stylist. She's come such a long way. She's phenomenal, but
Because she's in a salon with mentorship.
yeah, but we're there to help,
Yeah, to help,
we're, and most of the time she knows but every once in a while there's like, hey, what would you do? So we're there. And, anyway, just
Yeah.
thought I'd share that.
Yeah. And as an update, if you guys remember, Melanie had mentioned in a previous show that she had lost the necklace she got for her birthday.
Oh, you found it.
Somebody
Didn't we?
found it.
I thought we
Yes,
announced
I
that
did.
last week.
No, we didn't. I found it.
Oh, I
Uh-huh.
know.
Yep.
Yep, I wore it. Wore
Yep.
it to work.
It was hidden, but
Yay.
I found it on accident. A little glimmer, sun hit it just right, and I found it. So
Yeah, that
anyway,
was awesome.
yeah, so
I'm
she
so
got
glad.
she got her necklace back.
Yay.
All right. Okay, let's wrap it up. All right. Thanks for joining us for episode 116. We will see you next week for the big Diva Curl giveaway. So
Ooh,
tell your friends.
exciting.
Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. The more people that watch the show live, the more we'll give away. Put it that way. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know.
I like how you're giving away someone else's product and not ours. I like that concept.
I do too. I do too. We're giving it away. We're giving it away. We're clearing it out. So
Oh,
anyway,
boy.
okay. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great curl week.